have knowledge about computer. I'm a knowledgeable person about computer skills, and I love being on the computer, but working is not a computer related area. I work as a business person. So I just want to achieve my dream of being a techie person. And when I saw an advert that says I can transition into tech without being a computer scientist, so I jumped on it. Then I started training. Initially to be a business analyst, but they said before I can do that, I have to have knowledge about project management, product management. Then I move on to business analyst. So far so good. I love what I'm doing presently, and I'm enthusiastic about it. I want to have more knowledge and practice as well. So that's my journey to take. Yeah.
Okay, is your can you hear me now? Am I audible? Okay, awesome. Good evening. Good evening, guys. I'm sorry, Israel, to interrupt your flow. I'm just curious. Someone spoke last, and I think I heard she wanted to be a business analyst, but she was going to go do product first. I'm confused. I mean, that is talk to me. So, could you shed more light? Yeah, could you shed more light as to that conversation, if that's okay with you, Balkis?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Uh, The three skills are interrelated, and according to what I was told, I must have basic knowledge about project management, product management to perform excellently as a business analyst. And listening to a speaker also, the person said you can move from a product manager to a business analyst and also to a project management because basically they are all about communicating with people and majorly solving problems. So the school I enrolled to said I must first have knowledge about project management. I must be trained as a project manager, um, trained as a product manager. Then I'll move on to business analyst. So I inquired in another school. The same thing was said. So I had to go through that route.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Balkis. I'm sorry, Israel. I'm going to take some of your time. And yeah, so guys, I want to share this with us. I'm not trying to diss or water down anybody, but I mean, been in this space for a while. I have seen so many misinterpretation of things. So let me give you context. What do you do right now, Balkis?
I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a
Perfect.
business
So you
developer.
run your business, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So do you want to be more specific, or I can use a generic example? Which one are you comfortable with?
I didn't get that.
Are you comfortable with being specific as to what you sell or what you deal in, or I can use a generic example?
Okay, this is what I do. Um, the reason why the person said I should go into business analyst is that
Mhm.
um, graduating from school back then and looking at my salary worth, I don't really like what I'm earning. So I jumped into business. So I go to bakeries, collect bread, and supply to those retailers. And the retailers
Perfect.
sell to the final consumers.
All right, great. So let's use that as the business, right? So
Okay.
before you went into that business, I mean, let's leave the fact that you wanted to make money. Everybody is in what they are doing today to make money. That's the honest truth, right? Before you got into that and you decided, okay, this is what I'll do. There's a bakery, I have a relationship. I'll leverage that, get in bulk, and sell to retailers. There was something that you thought about. Oh, I need to make money. I need to keep myself busy. I'm a graduate now, so no more free pocket money, right? I'm now an adult. Those are the various considerations that came to your mind. And then the next thing you did was, okay, so now that this is what I want to do, I need money. I probably need a means of transportation, right? I probably need like something to take the bread, probably a container or something to transport it.
Yes.
So it's going to be in a large tray or all those wooden trays or crates, and then inside the bus or inside the car, and then go deliver to different locations, right? Those
Yeah.
things you thought about before you started, what do you think they are called?
Those things I thought about
Before you
before
said,
I
okay, I'll
started,
do
right?
this. Yeah,
I think those are I don't know how right am I.
those
Probably
are
that's
what
the
we call
feasibility studies.
part of it. But fundamentally, you arrived at business requirements. Your
Okay,
feasibility
yeah.
study started from, okay, is there a bakery nearby? It went further to, okay, are there that can be sold to who cannot buy directly from the
No,
bakery?
to sorry to cut in. I did not ask if there's a bakery nearby. When I gave birth to my second child, there's this bread they bought for me, and it was so nice. And the bread is not in my environment, so I have to
How
keep the
far?
nylon.
Okay.
contact
Go on, go
bakery,
on. Mhm.
went to the bakery, okay, and met with the manager and said, I want to be your distributor. They said, no, they only supply ShopRite and just
Okay.
I said, people are longing for this bread in my vicinity. Okay, what quantity can you carry? I said, okay, let me start with 50 loaves. So from there, and it's what people like. There are companies in my area, the staff, they used to go to ShopRite as far as just try to go and get that bread. Once they see that I'm supplying this bread, they'll come and pay me down and they'll get
Okay.
it
All
from
right.
me.
So that's what I'm trying to say. What you did initially at that point was what a typical business analyst will do. Forget it. These terminologies are not things that are far fetched. The only difference between you and somebody that is probably saying they're a BA now is because the projects or the things they do are actually for real businesses other than themselves. In your own case, you've done it for your personal business. If you were to work with a company that needs to scale business and what they do is pastries, bread, cakes, and all of that, you typically go through the same process. You will look at the market. You saw that that bread was good value. You saw that your people or you for a particular person, a persona, like this bread. It wasn't something you could just come out of your gate and get after 2 minutes walk. You needed to probably travel a distance to get it. So you model people like yourself that would want this bread and said there are other people like me. At the minimum, there will be probably 20 to 30 people like me. So if I get 50, there's a tendency that on the third day I have sold it. All I need to do probably do is make people know that I sell this bread. That is what business analysts, product managers, project managers do. And like you rightly said, it is interrelated. Project managers in your own case would be okay, now that we want to start this business, I'm going to manage how it flows, the various activities that needs to happen from January 1 to March 31st. We must have 12 bread delivered to us by the 15th. We must have been able to sell it by the 21st. That's what a project manager does. A business analyst gathers requirements. Why are we even doing this in the first place? Okay, now we understand why we're doing it. What are the specific functionalities, capabilities that we want to be available on this thing? It could be an application, it could be a service. And what does a product manager do? The idea you had from that beginning, let me get something doing and going for myself, right? Please also know this part. Oh, okay, all right. Let me do this for myself. Okay, so how do I start this? Okay, let me start small. Let me scale this as it goes. Right now, are you still doing the numbers you started with? I don't think so. You must have scaled, right?
Yes, in fact, yes. I had to go
What
to
what you,
driving
no,
school.
sorry, I don't want to drag sorry, I don't want to drag it. I get your point. I'm just trying to let you see
Okay.
that in your own personal life, you've done these things. You just mentioned you had to go to driving school. It's called scaling. It's called pivoting in products. Business analysts do it. They call it enhancements. Do you get my point? We all do these things in our personal life. The only thing might be that you're not doing it for a company, for a product. How many of us remember what Instagram was? Does anybody remember what Instagram was when it started? Anybody? It was just a platform to share images like Pinterest. It was for uh, photography lovers. Snap one very looking image of sunset and post it on there. People will like it and say, "Wow, nice picture. Can I borrow it?" Now it's a platform. It's a business on its own now. It's called pivoting. Very soon you come up with the idea that when people buy bread, they probably want butter with it because it's hot. Very soon you scale your business and add other products to it. That's what everybody does. One day, Facebook was supposed to be a platform to catch up with guys that we went to the same school together. Before we knew it became a social media platform where people gist. Now it's a business platform. There are businesses who don't have physical shops and now Facebook right now making a lot of money. So we all do this thing. So that's the first myth I want us to get off our mind. There is nothing special really that we're doing. The only major thing is in the context of how we do it. I am doing it currently for an organization that is paying me. Balkis is doing it for herself, making money. Okay, I'm sure maybe it's the same for Ade doing probably where she works currently. There is something you're currently doing that you have those HR will call it transferable skills from those things you're doing. So I wanted to correct that notion you got from those two schools. You don't need to start with one to go to the other. No, you can start on any one of them as you wish. If I want to be a project manager, I just need to understand plannings, how to make sure that I have to-do lists. If I said I'm going to graduate by 20, do I actually graduate by 20? If I graduated at 21, what happened? Oh, there's a lecturer that didn't like me. I'll note that down and I call it lessons learned. That's project management. Do we understand? So please, that notion was very wrong. If you want to be a product manager, please go be a product manager. If you want to be a business analyst, please by all means go on. If you want to be a business analyst, please by all means go on there. No one is required for the other. They all share fundamentally the same basic skill sets. You must be able to communicate. You must be able to document things. You must be able to put yourself in people's shoes and understand why and how they feel the way they do. Basically, those things. All right, but okay, hope that's fine. All right. Sorry, Israel, please go ahead. I will zip my mouth. Thank you. Yeah. So please pardon me, and also Israel to pardon me. I love stories because stories have a way of passing the message and making sure that message stays with you. So there'll be plenty, there'll be plenty storytelling and use cases if that's okay. So I want us to practicalize what we've learned now. So please, if we go back to those first steps that you had on the screen before. No, not this one. The next one. No. Where you had four steps. Understand the user, define the goals, work with your. Yeah, this one. Perfect. Okay. So Balkis, you will be our business person or our product manager for today. Is that okay? Can you talk?
Yes, please.
Okay. And
It's
then
okay.
added doing and Jennifer would also be required to collaborate. We want to use our team victory. That's the name I've given it for context as a business, right? So we want to use these four steps quickly. Okay? Do you understand?
Okay.
All right. So who are your typical users? The first thing is understand your users. Talk to the users, conduct surveys, and get to know their pain points. Let's go. What do you understand by your users? Remember, the reason why we build anything at all, Israel also emphasized, the reason why we build anything is to solve problems. So we needed to know what is the problem and who we're trying to solve the problem for. So who were your typical users that you were considering apart from yourself? You know, any idea?
You mean me? That who are my users?
Yeah, you were trying to solve a problem, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm asking now that the first thing says the first thing we should do is understand our users. So I'm saying that what did you do? Who did you speak to? You know, in terms of understanding who your users were.
Okay.
You understand what I mean by
Firstly,
users, right?
yes, those that will be buying my products, right?
Exactly. So quickly, briefly, how did you
Okay.
understand your users?
I looked at those that are selling that we call them tabletops, like those that are selling one to
Mhm.
consumers. So I targeted them. Then I go to various bus stops and said them this is social products and is a very good one. I told them the qualities of the bread and why the bread is also special.
Okay. So that was your survey. You asked questions, interview, right? What were the pain points?
They asked me that how what's the shelf life of the bread, and I told them it's 5 days. You know, they are going to buy it and put on their shelf for some days. So they look at it that okay, if this bread will not spoil in the next 3 days, I think we can buy it for
Okay.
the main time they'll be able to sell it.
All right. So the first pain point you noticed was that they needed a bread with longer shelf life, right?
Yes.
Okay. What else?
And that is the bread fluffy? Is it hope is not too it's not bread that is being baked with shakarin and I told them it's not.
Okay. Any other thing?
What other thing? I think basically
Was
those are
was that
major
was
things.
that product going to be going to be competitive in the market? Do you understand what I mean?
Yes. Like
Was it more
will it
expensive than what they usually sell?
no, it's not expensive. It's the same rate at which others are selling theirs. And even if it's a bit higher, they will get the quality from it and they are eating an healthy bread.
Okay. Any other thing?
I think that's all.
All right. So you identified three major things. right? That the bread should have a good shelf life. It can be quality, it can be safe, but if it just has about 24 hours shelf life, no one's going to buy it. The price also needs to be very favorable, compete with others. Those were your surveys, that was your pain point that you identified for these users, right?
Yes.
Makes sense? What was
Yes.
the goal? What was the goal that you were trying to achieve? I know we've mentioned it in part, but what was the goal? Now remember the
The
product
goal then was to,
is your business. Sorry, remember the product is your business, not the bread,
yes,
because you're not making it, you're just reselling. Do you get?
yes,
So the product is your
yes,
business. What was your product goal?
to make money.
Okay, cool. I like you.
Yes.
You're very honest. What else? Doing is laughing at you. What else apart from making money?
And to satisfy my customers, I don't want them to as well return spoiled bread to me.
Okay.
So once I
You
receive,
wanted to build loyalty.
yes,
You wanted them to keep coming back, right?
I, yes.
Okay. What else?
Mm. And also to refer me to other people, which they did.
Okay. It sounds like build loyalty. Okay, let's say skill. Build a thriving business. Okay, so let's leave it at three as well, right? So those are your product goals. Now, did you work with a team or you worked by yourself?
I work by myself. Firstly, I work with a team because then I couldn't drive. I had to call my younger brother that know how to drive. He will be the one to drive the vehicle before I now learned how to drive.
Okay, so the honest truth is there is no product that is made singly and solely by one person. And that's why you will see on the screen says early collaboration. Nobody builds anything by themselves. There's nothing called self-made man or self-made woman. Somebody bought that product. Somebody paid for it. Somebody provided the platform you had used to make money. Do we understand? So you must have worked with a team, whether they're on your payroll or not. The manager you went to speak to that said initially we're not selling to individuals, we're only selling to selected places. But later agreed after you must have begged him small. It's part of your team. It's just that you're not paying him salary. If you didn't make that opening available, there was no way you would have gotten your first batch of bread. So you had a source, right? You had a
Yes.
source with them. Secondly, you had somebody who was helping you manage logistics, or let's say transportation. Who else was in that?
Yeah, aside from the manager, the driver that will bring the bread down to my place as well. Then there's a sales manager that will take records of what they are supplying as well. Yeah, that's true.
On your
Yes.
end, right?
No, not from my end, from the bakery end.
Oh, okay, all right. Record keeping, all right, cool. So now let's quickly mirror this in real life when we are building products. We will get to that point. You also cannot be by yourself building these products. You would have somebody who is probably speaking on behalf of the business. I'm sure Israel would be able to explain more, relate with you more. Somebody will just come to you and say, there's a serious customer that wants this thing. Half the time, it's not always true, but it's what we face as product people. Sales will just come and tell you, see, there's this potential sale that I need to close. They want to build stadium on one plot of land. Then you now have developers that you now have to convince that see we can do it, we can build that stadium. You understand what I mean? Like it's sarcasm, it's not possible, right? The stadium is a massive structure. You can't build it on the plot of land. But those are the things that you get from salespeople sometimes, where they ask for potentially ridiculous things. Then you now go and find a way to present it to your dev team and say, guys, we can do this thing. Then you will now have somebody that will now go and test what you have done and be sure that you have built it correctly. You cannot do it by yourself. That's the fundamental truth about that one, right? So you will need developers, front end, back end. You will need database administrators. You need DevOps. There are so many roles that you will engage with, depending on how big your product is, right? Now let's quickly go to prioritize. Now that you have a business running, and this is also open to everybody else because now it's not something Balkis has done. What would you advise if you were the CEO like Balkis now? What would you advise is the next step in terms of bringing technology to what she does? Do we understand the question? She has a business that is running. She calls the manager or speaks to the salesperson or knows or understands the structure of how they bake, goes there, pick the bread by herself, take it to the various people that would buy. Likely they pay on cash or they do credit. If you were to introduce technology to this, what would be that functionality or set of features that you would typically advise or you would want to be built? Come on, guys, few minutes left.
Good evening. So, when you mean technology, is it to market, or is it the technology is to market the bread, or to enhance the sales of bread? Still the same thing as marketing. Is that what you mean? Or what form of technology will improve her business? Is that what you're asking?
Okay. So I like the fact that you try to get context, which shows that you understand how to engage your clients, get requirements. But now we're brainstorming, and I want you to think outside of the box. In short, throw away the box. What are the things she can do to use technology to do? She has a manual business that runs fine, but she wants to leverage technology. You mentioned sales and marketing. What other thing can she do with technology?
Okay.
Other guys are not talking. Are you doing? You're muted or silent. Go on about Jennifer.
I can only think of marketing when it comes to technology. Only
Okay,
marketing the product.
all right. So right
And
now,
having to
go on.
keep records of whatever she
Okay,
has, like keeping record of stocks that she have, because there are some, you can build a product whereby, okay, oh, they are bringing 50 loaves of bread today, you're just going to put it, okay, 50 loaves of bread, bam, it's coming today. If somebody sells, you'll be able to, okay, I sold one, you take one sold, like that. A statistic product that can keep record of things that are going in and out without you going to start manually counting and all. I think those are the two things I have in mind now.
all right, cool, great. Thanks so much, Jennifer. Doing. Do you want to give it a go?
Okay, so for what Jennifer said, from what she said, so she can also have, like you said, the record can also help her to know, like, okay, this week, this is what I make. She can track her sales, like, okay, the progress, how fast the product is moving, and how the customers are retaining. Okay, are they coming? Are they increasing? You know, that's what I feel.
All right, great. Thank you. So, do you see how initially, Jennifer, you thought it was just sales and marketing, and now you thought about how to manage finance, how to manage inventory, how to probably get to a point where you can even predict how you are potentially going to sell more in Christmas or during weekends and weekdays with analytics. Do you see that there is no limit, there is no end to what she can do with technology for her business. And that's what you typically do as a product person. You would think through solutions for problems. She established that there was a quality bread that was not available in her vicinity, so she went to get it. Now she's doing it manually. So if you were now to advise based on all those things we've mentioned, what would you recommend she start with? Let's solutionize now. Let's talk tools now. If you were to advise, like start from here, what do you think she should do first?
Sorry, when you mean the tools, is it in technological tools again? If I should recommend a tools that she should start with, is it technologically wise or any randomly?
Anything you can think of. So everything that is electronic, right, or digital is technology. You get. We're on Google Meet right now. It's technology. If she was hosting meetings, we would say she should use maybe Google Meet because she has a Gmail account. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, I do. Yes, I understand.
Alternatively, if she's a tech guru, she can actually build her own and add more great features that Google Meet does not have. So, I mean, quickly, so that we can round up in like 2 minutes. If you were to advise her on one, two, three, what would you say she should do in terms of technology?
First of all, I spoke on marketing. So
Okay.
to take the first step, she should go and try and make ads for other social media platform and place it there so that her product can be more visible online.
Okay.
I think that is the first step. More
Okay.
visibility.
All right. So, because of time, I'm going to quickly respond to that, and then we think of something else, and then we can round off. Again, please, it's okay to have various ideas.
Make maybe like a flyer or a short clip or something, then
Okay.
it will be a form of advert marketing and bringing more customers for her product. That is
All right.
one.
So this is what I'm trying to say. It's great for us to think of solution, but when we think about that solution, let's look for how it's relatable to what she currently does. Balkis, the Yabasira, the Alaja that sells bread that you deliver to, are they on social media?
No.
So what would be the point of going to do ads when Yasule does not even have a smartphone?
The ads are for bringing other persons, except the I'm not understanding the question.
Remember where we started from. Understand your users. The current users that she's satisfying are not the consumers of the bread. They are the retailers of the bread. So don't you think she should start from maxing those people? I understand this sometimes is, away from what typical product managers do, and they will say it is product marketing manager that will do that. But sometimes you've got to think about it. Currently, she serves the regular Joe on the street by selling bread to them 20, 10, 15, right? And then those ones will now resell to somebody coming from the office who just wants to buy sliced bread for tonight or for tomorrow morning and things like that. But what I'm saying is, it's possible that you can do ads, but who will the ads serve? She doesn't have a kiosk where she's displaying bread for them to buy. Oh, okay, she's dropped off. Do we understand what I mean? So we will think about all the various options. Social media is great, but then think about it. Do you have the right people or the markets that you're targeting on social media? If she now wants to sell one by one by one, then yeah, she can leverage social media. Maybe she can use Excel for now to track how many is coming in and going out and see if she's making profit. Maybe she can leverage marketplace on social media, like I mentioned earlier, to now start selling to retailers. I've mentioned Excel. I've mentioned being able to track your inventory, it's possible that she also wants to expand her business and look at what goes with bread. My point basically is using these four steps, is it applicable to real life scenarios? Yes. It doesn't get more straight, more real than that. I'm not saying our ideas are wrong, but I'm saying let's think through them to say, okay, number one, you don't need to build a mobile app because the people currently buying bread from you are not even interested in that. They just want to buy bread and go in peace. So maybe an ad would work so that you can get more individuals to get you bread. What else can she do to scale her business? Do we understand? And that's how pretty much you build products. These four critical steps are just literally like, the grill of how products are generally built and then enhanced. You want to do one, two, three, and then you realize that there's still four, five, six to do. You get feedback from your customers that four, five, six is actually making sense. And you go back and do. All right. Are we good? Any question or feedback? Okay, Jennifer, Balkis, you have your hand raised. Okay, I think you've dropped.
Sorry, my network is a little bit cranky, but from everything, I want to say this in another way. Let me see whether we are on the same page. So, for example, now I have all these social media apps. For example, let's use Facebook. No, let us use Pinterest as an example now. Do you mean like the product manager of Pinterest now? Maybe they built Pinterest like last week, and the product manager goes through it. They see the product and they be like, oh, maybe if this P is blue, it will be better. If this image is at the left, it will be better. Then they will now go and implement it. Is that everything that you have been saying? Is that what you meant? That is the product manager that is to go and like sit down still after using all okay, after okay, we have made this one, we have made inquiries, we have done this one, we have used all of them. And it like they go back and see how to make things better. Is that what you meant?
Yes and no. Yes, their job is to make sure they are solving problems and they keep on solving problems. No, they don't just sit down and think about how to make things better. They leverage data. There's one fundamental thing: data is life. Without data is wishful thinking. And that's why I said that when you said social media, I had to ask for data. But in case the people you sell to, are they actually Gen Zs or smartphones? Data said no. Do you understand what I mean? While PM job is to think through problems, how to solve them, you get influence sometimes from stakeholder feedback, but your decision always should be based on data. Is data saying that this is actually a real problem? Is data saying these are actually real people? Israel mentioned earlier that people have built products that is not solving any problem. Do you get? So yes, I know that you need to be creative, look for how to solve problems. But no, you don't just sit down and just think about it just by yourself and then you say this is what we want to do. Do you understand? Jennifer, is that okay? Okay. All right, Israel. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.